into the State Champs 1-800-CALL-SAM studio here on the campus of Lawrence Technological University, along with my broadcast partner, Mike Iveso. My name is Sean Belegian. Mike, here it is, the week we've all been waiting for. But can I say one thing, just one thing? This week always makes me sad because it means the season's ending.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough one, but then it doesn't take us long before we start talking to coaches about next season. So it also brings a little bit of excitement because we get to see and hear what's coming next.
And all jokes aside, this is what everybody plays for, the opportunity to get to USA Hockey Arena. Congratulations to the teams that made it. Only 12 can make it. Only 3 can call themselves a state champion. And of course, state champs, we're going to be out there all weekend long. We've got multiple camera guys going out there. We got multiple reporters out there. I know Coach Hunter will be out there. Mike will be out there. I'll be out there. Really looking forward to it. One of the cool things, Mike, seeing a lot of the coaches and even the players of teams that aren't playing there that show up. It really is a great weekend for hockey here in the great state of Michigan.
Yeah, it's the place to be for high school hockey, and I'm always interested in seeing how the coaches that are there integrate their teams into that scene, because not all these teams have been there. They haven't seen this atmosphere. Do the D3 and D1 teams come out for the D2 games and vice versa? How are you going to acclimate your team to what is just an unbelievable environment?
All right, let's get right to it. It all starts Thursday night, 5 o'clock. How about the defending D2 champions, Flint Powers, taking on the upstart? What a run by the Cubbies, UAD Jesuit.
What a run and what an ending to that game in the quarterfinals. I know you had to go, but me and the crew stayed after, and we were yelling and screaming. We had a good time, and Henrik McManus scored that game-winning overtime goal. Right now, UD's being led by some usual suspects, Brody Contant and Carter Kogan. They had good regular seasons. They're continuing it with 4 points each in the playoffs. But to be successful, Sean, let's be honest, they have to do what no one's done so far, is figure out that Powers offense. They have to play hard in their own zone, clog up the middle, block shots, get in lanes. No one's been able to do that. Powers is outscoring their teams 29-0 in the playoffs. 16 of those goals are Aiden Cook and Owen Perry. Your defense needs to be on those two players as soon as they get off the bus at the rink. But here's the thing. They've been so dominant on offense. Hunter Clark's only faced 19 shots. The problem with that, and I think you might agree, Hunter Clark gets better the more shots he faces.
No doubt about that. That should be a good one. 7:30. This is one that a lot of people are talking about. Livonia Stevenson, certainly a usual suspect. Their new coach, Jay Thompson's done such a great job with the Spartans, taking on Caledonia. And I go back to last year. I had a lot of guys on the west side of the state tell me, look out for the Caledonia Scots. They have certainly lived up to the advanced billing. And Mike, make no mistake about it, it all starts with their Wall Award nominee. More on that coming up, Mr. Hogue.
Yeah, Sam Hogue's done it all year. He's faced 109 shots this year. He's only let in 46 goals for a .943 save percentage. He's been their horse all year, but the story of the playoffs, Gabe Suppick, back-to-back game-winning overtime goals. But keep an eye on number 6, Harmon Esch. He's a big-bodied player that's always around the puck. For Stevenson, we talked to Coach Thompson before the playoffs. He told us, I like the progression that my team's making. I like where we're at. That progression starts in their own zone. They're only allowing 15 shots a game. But I'll tell you what, when Rochester did break through in that quarterfinal game, Drew Allen stepped up and made all the saves. Good news for Stevenson, your horses have showed up. Colin Strobel, Brendan Siss, and Blake Calhoun are leading this team. And year after year, Sean, we know when we get there and we see a team, if their horses show up, their big players show up, they have success.
That's one of the most intriguing matchups of the first day, so to speak. No doubt about that. The first day, of course, extends into Thursday as we move ahead to Division III. Props to the Gremlins. They're making their way back. And, Mike, this is another one of those matchups that really intrigues me. A lot of firepower with the Houghton Gremlins taking on a guy who's been a wall in Mr. Boynton Fisher.
Absolutely. He's another one that's done it all year. And make no mistake, for the Bay Reps to have success, Tyler Boynton Fisher is going to have the 2 best games of his career. And here's the thing. I think he can do it. He's up to that task, especially the way the Bay Reps focus on defense. Keep an eye on those Zacina brothers. Right now, Nolan Zacina is leading that team with 4 points. I really like the way they play. For Houghton, look at the secondary scoring. Brody Donnelly is leading that team with 8 points. But again, like we just talked about, the big guys, Connor Arco, Gunnar Gallstrom, and Noah Millette have to show up in this game. We've seen Houghton come down with some Player of the Year nominees and some big players, and they haven't had that success. These three need to have success for Houghton to have success. I do like the way they're playing in their own end. They made it tough on Marquette in that quarterfinal game, and Cooper Flax really stepped up.
Bay Reps and Houghton, 11 o'clock Friday morning, and then at 1:30, once again, a defending state champion, Division III, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, the Eaglets taking on Grosse Pointe Woods University Liggett, a team I know I've talked up all year, and here they are. What a dandy that should be at 1:30.
Yeah, not only have we talked about Liggett all year, but we've talked about their big scorer, Nick Gould, all year. But right now, keep an eye on Landon Maltby and Luke Slenick. These guys have really stepped up, and I think they've been their best players in the playoffs. But how about this guy, Lucien Valiut? He gave up 10 goals in that game against Houghton. We watched that game. In 7 games since then, he's only given up 11 goals, and Liggett's gone 6-1. I like what I've seen out of him in the playoffs. For Orchard Lake, we know the offense. Thaddeus Rainish, right? Charlie Roberts. But what about scoring by committee? They have 18 skaters that have points in the playoffs. And how about their team defense? They're really playing well in their own end, and Thomas Reavers standing out with 167 goals against.
Another team looking to make it back-to-back, so all eyes certainly on the Eaglets. As we move to Division I, Detroit Catholic Central, we talked about it from the first show. This was a team, we've seen it many times, that they just go like this. And we even used the comment, if somebody wants to get Catholic Central this year, it might be easier to do it early. We saw Heartland knock them off early in the year. Mike, you've just seen Catholic Central go like this once again. And out of the muddled mess, and I say that with respect, that is the West Side, how about the Rockford Rams punching their ticket to USA Hockey Arena? CC Rockford, 5 o'clock Friday.
Rockford, another team we've talked about all year. We've talked about Jonah Packard. He had 36 goals in the regular season. He's got 3 more in the playoffs. But again, you keep hearing this theme of me saying secondary scoring. It's really happening for Rockford. Warner Kortowski and Max Flaherty are leading this team right now. But they're going to need Nolan Williams in net, Sean. He's got a .965 save percentage. But they're going to need all those saves because in the blink of an eye, CC can throw 50 shots at you. And that's going to start with Costa Karadimas. Here's a kid we've talked about since that St. Francis game. He's gotten better and better. I was at that Howell game. He stood out. He's got 8 points in the playoffs. But keep your eye on a couple players. Gabe Thompson. He's going to score goals, but what you're going to notice is he could be one of the best forecheckers I've ever seen. He uses that speed to create turnovers every shift he's on the ice. The one that stuck out to me, Miles Schlack, Sean. We don't talk a lot about him because Ryan Dye's on our Player of the Year wall list. But I'll tell you what, when Dye was in the box for 4 minutes, I don't think Schlack came off the ice. On 5-on-5 play, I don't think a puck got past him. This kid had a fantastic game. But again, with all of that, it's Nick Kogut in net. That 1-0 game, he made 6 saves that were game breakers. And in a 1-0 game, obviously that's going to be huge. For them to be successful, he's going to have to be successful.
You know, I'm going to say this again. We talked about a game on Thursday that's really intriguing. This one might be my personal most intriguing game. You hear the word buzz a lot, right? I mentioned a few minutes ago, Caledonia was a team that got a lot of buzz last year, and they've lived up to it. Nobody had buzz this year like Utica Eisenhower. I heard it in the summer. I had coaches that I know out there. I had people that played them earlier saying, you guys got to get some eyes on this team. Ike is the real deal. Congratulations to them for punching their ticket to USA Hockey Arena. And you knew something special was brewing in Northville. We saw them get their first game of the year, and you liked what they had, and you put this all together. What a dandy. 7:30 Friday night, Ike taking on Northville.
And we've talked a lot about teams that have progressed as the year gone along, and Northville's one of them. We know Tommy Mironoff is on our Player of the Year list. We know Ethan Agelski. They've led that way. They're starting to pick it up in the playoffs. But that secondary scoring, that depth we talk about with Northville, that could be the difference. Alex Casey and Caden Connor have been probably their best players in the playoffs right now. But let's not leave out Andre Castiglione.
Castiglione!
His .950 save percentage has been really good. But how about Eisenhower and the story that they've been? Bodie Farr, Nathan Schlicky, and Joey Zelenik. They did it all year, and they've continued in the playoffs. But keep an eye on Sawyer Hotchkiss. He's got 5 goals in the playoffs. But we can't leave Ike without talking about their goalie. This is a kid that can win it all. Connor Holmes. He's on our wall list. He hasn't lost all year. A goalie hasn't outdueled him. Can Castiglione outduel Holmes in this matchup? I can't wait to see this one 7:30 Friday.
Yeah, that is arguably the most intriguing one. And, of course, that all leads to Championship Saturday. Division II, per usual, gets things started. The Division II Championship game, 11 a.m., Mike. The Division III Championship game, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the season concludes by crowning a Division I champion as that game begins at 7 o'clock. A long weekend at USA Hockey Arena. I'm not going to lie to you, by the end of that Division I game, guys like he and I who have been there the whole time are kind of going blah, 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 but it's all about the hockey. It's all about what's happening there, and this should be another fantastic weekend.
I can't wait to get it started. When you look at it and just glance at it, you're like, are we going to get 3 repeats here? But when you dive deep and you look at some of the stories and some of these teams, and again, that progression that these teams have taken, not only in the regular season but through the playoffs, there's some really intriguing matchups here.
Really looking forward to this. Hopefully we get a chance to see you out there. As I mentioned, I think it bears repeating, we are going to have like full force out there. Multiple camera guys, multiple reporters. I know Coach Hunter, Mike, and myself, we have the honor of picking the all-tournament team, so certainly should be a fantastic weekend for hockey, and we got you covered. And, of course, Mike, we'll all reconvene next week with our live from the state final things. We're not really live. We're showing you things that happened a couple days ago, but certainly we're going to be there all weekend long.
Yeah, and I can't wait. Hey, if you're there and you want to have a conversation, we always do. We know right where we sit in the same place every year. Us and the crew will be there. Stop by and say hi. One
more order of business to take care of today, though, all right? All year long, we start the very first show of the year. We talk about our 1-800-CALL-SAM Player of the Year Award and our 1-800-CALL-SAM Wall Award. And I'm so glad that we could do that. And I'm going to say this again. If anybody is interested in sponsoring just a defenseman award, there are so many good defensemen in this state. Mike, you mentioned a few of them just in this conversation. I would love, love, love to honor them and give them the props that they deserve. But Mike, this process starts, I'm not joking, in August. Like, I'm not joking. I start asking people for their lists as a lot of the summer leagues are going on and Team Michigan and everything. And we whittle it down from about 50 people to the very arduous task, and I do mean arduous task, of getting it down to 10. And then this is cut week. And we say it all the time, the online vote getter, this is where you have the power, the online vote getter automatically gets on the list. Now that doesn't mean that they're specifically getting on because you voted for them, all right? More often than not, they deserve to be on there anyway. Then it's a really tough thing to whittle this down to, in essence, 3 for the 1-800-CALL-SAM Player of the Year and 3 for the Wall Award. But, Mike, we were able to do just that.
Yeah, and I've done this for a while with you, and I'm being honest when I say this. I think this was the hardest cut weekend that we've had since I've jumped into this. There were some names left off that we battled for. And again, I don't know how to say it other than that's why that vote is so important if you want your guy in, because you're talking about a ton of guys we start with. And I think you're being kind saying it starts in August. You know it starts this weekend. Legit. Because we see a lot of young kids play this weekend and step up and we're like, that kid. Coaches are going to stop by and say, hey, I've got this sophomore, I've got this junior. But it was a tough weekend going back and forth with the group of guys. But I not only like what we have, as you've heard from me, I have a pathway for just about everybody to win.
All right, so without further ado, let's start with the 1-800-CALL-SAM Player of the Year Final Four. We start with the online vote. How about Shamrock Nation? We just put Dye on our list. Shamrock Nation averaged about 4,000 votes a day. It was unbelievable. So our online winner, automatic berth in the Final Four, is Ryan Dye.
And to his dad, I believe we have a new picture of him. So hopefully everyone likes this one. But what a year. He's got 9 goals, 25 assists, 34 points. But more importantly, this is a defenseman that can play in all situations. He plays shorthanded. He quarterbacks that power play. 5-on-5, he can match up with any line in the state. Ryan Dye is a player that deserved to be here.
All right, so now's the tough part. After asking the multiple coaches that are involved in this, some of the staff here, I say it all the time, this is not a Mike Award. This is not a Sean Award. This isn't even a state champs award. It is a name only. We have coaches that help us out with this. We have a lot of different media members that help us out with this. One by one, let's announce the remaining members of our Final Four. No-brainer here. Aiden Cook from Flint Powers. Again, this kid just keeps getting it done as Flint Powers keeps getting it done.
Yeah, absolutely. 53 and 48 for 101 points where we're staying right now. And there's not much that he can't do. He plays with an edge. He plays physical for that offensive of a guy. And you can see in what we're talking about right now with the way his team is playing on offense, he can single-handedly control a game.
Let's go up to Houghton. Connor Arco, congratulations. You are in our Final Four as well. Another guy, his body of work is well known, does a little bit of everything for the Gremlins up there.
Yeah, you hit a little bit of everything. Right now, 24 and 34 for 58 points. But the progression that he has taken since I watched him last year to being a complete 200-foot player. We watched how hard he played in that Marquette game. Maybe it takes a little bit off his points, but this is a complete player that deserves to be here.
And our last member, congratulations to Tommy Marinoff from Northville. Mike, one of the criteria is, what do you do in big games? And this is a kid coming off a 4-point game, a hat trick, to lead the Mustangs back to USA Hockey Arena, so congratulations to Tommy.
Yeah, and Tommy Marinoff's a kid I feel like we've been talking about for 10 years. He's been there so long. He's gotten better and better and bigger and bigger. I like the way he plays on the boards, not just scores those points, but again, stepping up in big moments. Tommy Marinoff's a kid that deserves to be here.
So look at that cool graphic that Chuck made, right? There you go. Dye, Cook, Arco, Marinoff. And once again, we're all going to convene, and a lot of what transpires with this 1-800-CALL-SAM Player of the Year list is going to be determined at what happens at USA Hockey. I'm not going to mention any circumstances, but I know one year in particular, and I think you know, that's why he's giggling right now. I think you know which year I'm talking about. We all went into that weekend thinking, oh, this guy's got the award. And then somebody decided, oh, no, I'm going to make this my playground, and he took the award. So anything can happen at USA Hockey Arena in regards to the 1-800-CALL-SAM Player of the Year.
Anything can happen, and it happens every year. That year sticks out, obviously, because someone came from behind and just put it on his back and took it from another player. But every year, someone steps up. So when we were going through those games, I mean it. Your big players have to show up at USA Arena. They have to, and they do every year.
This one was more difficult. I think I can speak for Mike when I say this. When we're talking about the 1-800-CALL-SAM Wall Award, again, automatically the online leader gets in. Picking the other 3 goaltenders proved to be more arduous. This was not, by any stretch of the imagination, a unanimous decision. It was very, very split, but majority rules type of thing. Let's start with the one who guaranteed passage. How about Byron Center? Another fantastic season, and the way they mounted up, congratulations to Quinn Saul. He's automatically in by virtue of Byron Center.
Yeah, 23 games, a 217 goals against, a 920 save percentage, and he put his name on this list with that 62 save performance against Catholic Central, but then continued to do it in big games. Throughout the playoffs and in the playoffs that they have out there in the regular season, some big overtime wins. Quinn Saul deserves to be here.
Number 2, Mike, you just mentioned him. Saw him early on. Every time I saw him, I thought to myself, wow, Catholic Central has themselves a stud in Mr. Kogut.
Yeah, he's played 19 games, a 1.36 goals against average, and a 9.23 save percentage. I called you on the way home from that Howell game, and I said, my vote is going in right now. Nicholas Kogut has to be on that Final Four from what I just saw. That was one of the better goalie performances I've seen, regular season playoffs regardless. But like you said, every game he got better and better and better. How confident and calm he looked in that game against Howell, that's not a good sign for his opponents.
And I'll tell you what, here's a guy, our next Final Four member, that has been on the radar for a while, and he just keeps getting better and better. He was on our Wall Award list last year. He's punching his ticket into the Final Four as his team, the Scots, are punching their way into the Final Four. Of course, I'm talking about Sam Hogue.
Yeah, Sam Hogue. I gave you some numbers earlier. 809 shots, 46 goals. This guy's done it not only all year, he's really done it his whole career, but right now he's standing at a 1.8 goals against and a 9.41 save percentage. And he has played one of the tougher playoff routes to get to where they're at. They've had some big wins. I got to watch the win against Matawan in the playoffs. Sam Hogue, goalie, deserves to be here.
And finally, Ike's been a story all year long, and a big part of that story is their goaltending. Congratulations to Mr. Holmes.
Yep, 18-0 right now, Connor Holmes. A 1.83 goals against, a 9.24 save percentage. And this is the one, he has that pathway because everyone's saying CC. And I think some people are even saying Northville over Eisenhower. Guys, no one's beat this kid yet. He deserves to be on this list. He could be the best goalie in the state.
So there you have it. Chuck, look at Chuck in those graphics. There's your Final Four. Once again, congratulations to each one of them. We talk about the criteria all year long, every year. We think that we fulfilled the criteria with this list. There were certainly other deserving people. Make no mistake about that. I thought, Mike, in particular, the goaltending conversation was one that could have gone a couple of different ways, but we feel really good about this. And I want to say one more time, congratulations to not only these players for getting into our Final Four, but congratulations to the teams that are going to be playing at USA Hockey Arena. This is a weekend you'll never forget. There's no doubt about that. And every year, it's a weekend that guys like us don't forget.
Oh, I think I've said it 4 or 5 times already this show. I can't wait to get there. First, I can't wait to get to your house Thursday because we're going to grill up some magic there. And then we're going to go to the games. And the arena, the atmosphere, when they put 3,500 people in there, there's nothing that matches it, and that's why high school hockey is so special.
Well, that's why. Now, Chuck's behind the scenes right now running the camera. Chuck, you have an invite to the pregame party, right? Thursday afternoon, I'm just a couple miles away from USA Hockey Arena. I always say to people, hey, if you're planning to get over there, come on over. So we have a little pregame party going on before the real party begins, and that's the action at USA Hockey Arena. Hey, as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope to see so many of you out at the rink this weekend. This is what it's all about, the finals at USA Hockey Arena. And you know, state champs, we got it covered. So we'll see you at the rink.
State Champs Hockey Time is presented by Alta Equipment Company. Also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. 1-800-CALL-SAM. The MHSAA, and the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association.